Unveiling the Untold Stories. 5 infamous drug lords who dominated the underworld. Unveiling Roger Khan, the man behind Guyana's Phantom Squad. Roger Khan is a Guyanese businessman and former crime figure who gained notoriety for his involvement in drug trafficking and vigilante activities. Born on March 6, 1961. In Guyana, Khan initially started as a businessman involved in various enterprises. He gained prominence in the early 2000s when he founded the Phantom Squad, a private security firm allegedly tasked with combating crime in Guyana. However, Khan's activities soon became controversial as he was accused of using his organization for illegal activities, including drug trafficking and extrajudicial killings. Khan was eventually arrested in 2006 in Trinidad and Tobago and later extradited to the United States. In 2009, he pleaded guilty to conspiracy to import cocaine into the United States and other charges. He was sentenced to over 15 years in prison. The last stand of Pablo Acosta Villarreal, Mexico's most wanted. Pablo Acosta Villarreal was a prominent Mexican drug lord who operated during the late 1970s and early 1980s. Born on May 15, 1937, in Ojinaga, Mexico, he became known as El Zorro de Ojinaga, the Fox of Ojinaga, due to his cunning and ability to evade authorities for many years. Acosta Villarreal started as a marijuana smuggler and later expanded his operations to include cocaine trafficking, taking advantage of the porous US-Mexico border in the Chihuahua Desert. He gained control over a significant portion of the drug trade in the region, forming alliances with other drug traffickers and corrupt officials. Despite his criminal activities, Acosta Villarreal was known for his charisma and perceived Robin Hood-like behavior among locals, as he reportedly shared his wealth with the community. His criminal empire and reputation eventually caught up with him, leading to a violent end. In April 1987, Acosta Villarreal was killed during a confrontation with Mexican federal agents in Santa Elena Canyon, Texas. His death marked the end of an era, but also solidified his legacy as one of the most notorious drug lords in Mexican history. Behind the scenes, with Ivory Harris, Detroit's infamous heroin deal. Ivory Harris was a key figure in the 1970s Detroit heroin trade, known for his ruthless approach and ability to evade law enforcement. Born in Detroit in 1948, Harris rose to prominence as a drug trafficker during a tumultuous period in the city's history. Harris built a vast criminal empire centered around heroin distribution. Leveraging his connections in Detroit's underworld, he was known for his strategic alliances with other criminals and his ability to maintain control over his operations despite increasing law enforcement pressure. In 1973, Ivory Harris was arrested and subsequently convicted on federal drug charges. His arrest marked a significant blow to Detroit's heroin trade at the time. Harris spent several years in federal prison before his release. After his release, Harris maintained a relatively low profile, avoiding further involvement in drug trafficking. He passed away in Detroit in 2007, leaving behind a legacy as one of the key figures in the city's history of drug trafficking during the 1970s. New York's drug wars, the Kenneth Supreme McGriff saga. Kenneth Supreme McGriff was a notorious American drug lord and organized crime figure who operated primarily in Queens, New York, during the 1980s and 1990s. Born on September 19, 1960, McGriff became involved in drug trafficking at a young age, eventually rising to become one of the most powerful and feared figures in New York's underworld. McGriff initially gained prominence as a member of the Supreme Team, a drug trafficking organization based in Jamaica, Queens. Under his leadership, the Supreme Team became one of the largest and most profitable drug operations in the city, dealing primarily in crack cocaine. Known for his business acumen and ruthless tactics, McGriff expanded his influence beyond drug trafficking, engaging in money laundering, extortion, and other criminal activities. He maintained a violent reputation, reportedly ordering numerous murders to protect his interests and maintain control over his territory. In 1987, McGriff was arrested and eventually convicted on federal drug conspiracy charges. He served a lengthy prison sentence, but continued to exert influence within the criminal underworld from behind bars. Upon his release, McGriff faced further legal troubles and was eventually convicted in 2007 on additional charges, including murder and racketeering. From Durango to Jalisco, Ignacio Coronel Villarreal's criminal empire. Ignacio Coronel Villarreal, also known as Nacho Coronel, was a prominent Mexican drug lord associated with the Sinaloa cartel. Born on February 1st, 1954, in Cartels, Durango, Mexico, Coronel rose through the ranks to become one of the top leaders within the cartel. Coronel was involved primarily in the trafficking of methamphetamine, earning him the nickname the King of Crystal. He operated primarily in the states of Sinaloa and Jalisco, where he controlled extensive drug production and distribution networks. Known for his low profile and secretive nature, Coronel managed to evade capture for many years, despite being a high priority target for Mexican and U.S. law enforcement agencies. His ability to operate discreetly and maintain alliances within the cartel contributed to his longevity and influence. In July 2010, Coronel was killed during a military raid in Zapopan, Jalisco, Mexico. His death was a significant blow to the Sinaloa cartel and marked the end of an era for his drug trafficking operations. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Your support means the world to us. See you next time.